We know KISD is a very diverse district as far as our students. We're very diverse. And some of our staff is not as well versed in the diversity. So what the board recommend and put forth, and it's not just for teachers, because that's not a fair thing to say because we're school district employees of more than just teachers. So what would you feel about having diversity training being a part of the days we have staff development, but for all school employees, not just for classroom teachers? Because to me and to most people, if you touch a child, you're a teacher. Cafeteria, no matter where you are in the school district, diversity training would be needed because, like I said, we're diverse, but everybody is not, well versed in diversity. So what would you think about diversity training for all employees?
I think it's an excellent idea. Basically, in most organizations, they do that anyway. Especially, as working with children, we should be teaching them to respect each other's individuality, that we're unique beings and we all have differences. So my point is we should be teaching that as well. If we teach it, we should be walking the walk. So I think that we all should be doing that. I think it's sad that apparently some people are not doing that, but I think that is part of the professional development. It should be given beginning of the school year.
If you can think back, I know some of us are not kids in here anymore. There are a few kids in front and in back. But if you can think back to when you were a kid, what was the lesson you were taught about strangers?
Stranger danger.
Don't talk to strangers. Why? They might harm you, okay, on something unknown, right? And so essentially, fear the unknown, okay? So when we talk about cultural diversity, sometimes just using that very word gets people all like in a bad place, because what does that mean? Are you saying somebody's bad or somebody's doing the wrong thing? And I think we really need to recognize it for what it is. That we are a country, we're made up of so many different backgrounds, so many different cultures, and that no one person has written the book on every single human being and understanding the backgrounds that we come from. And yet all of those things come into play when we interact with each other. I'll give you a quick example. Growing up in Nigeria, I was taught that you always call an adult sir or ma'am or Mrs. or Mr. or that, okay? You don't call them by their first name. I was also taught that you don't make eye contact with an adult because that is insubordination. However, in the U.S. culture, what do we teach about making eye contact? If you're not making eye contact, you're shifty, you're lying, you have something that you're hiding. So you can have two people, well-meaning people who are interacting, and one person thinks they are doing the right thing because that's what they were taught, and the other person is totally misunderstanding and misreading that because of what they were taught. Neither one is right or wrong. You understand what I'm saying? But it's a communication gap that exists. So absolutely, any smart organization who wants to be excellent has to figure out how to get everybody within that organization to have a better understanding of one another, because it minimizes conflict, it minimizes miscommunication, it minimizes problems. So should we have cultural diversity training for everybody in our district? Absolutely yes, and we should pay for it.
I was coming home from someplace on a long flight. I was in Memphis, Tennessee, and one of his former Ellison students walked up to me. She was a white lady, and she said, "Mr. Ringler, I want to thank you for the great gift that you've given me at Ellison High School," and I was so proud. And she said, "Because the students at Ellison High School are just exactly like the students in my workplace." She was comfortable in a diverse setting. She was very free to work with people of different colors, and she thought we had something to do with that with Ellison High School, which we were very lucky just to be there. KISD has a history of working with National Conference of Christians and Jews. We have a history of bringing Ruby Payne workshops into town. Those are great trainings. We need to continue that culture, and certainly it's critical to the success of our school district and to our community.
Mr. Rainwater beat me to the question. Our school district do have Ruby Payne that talks a lot and do a lot with culture and diversity. But I want to back up a little bit because me and Miss Ayala look alike. Aya. That don't mean that we came back from the same place, because my biological mother is biracial, but me and her look alike. We have to be careful when we say diversity. You have to look at the child And because another person don't look like me and her, that does not say that they cannot teach us. And they put the caveat on that. My son is married to a Hispanic girl, which is blown way out like this, because you have so many different factions of his Spanish. We got to get down to the source. Teach the kid, make a loving, training, education environment.